Hey folks, it's Tim the Toolman here again with Car Show and Tell. And we're back. We're going to finish up our air conditioning project with our Kia Sportage, the free Kia project for you. Where last we left off, we had gotten everything apart. All the components were broken down into their individual parts pieces and so on and so forth. All of the unusable parts were separated from the usable ones, and the usable ones were all scrubbed clean, the inside and outside flushed out so that we can get the system clean and put it all back together again. So this is what we're going to start doing. We're going to start with the last thing that we took off, which I believe is this set of high side and low side lines. I've already taken the liberty of putting new O-rings on all the joints. Every joint in this system is going to get a new O-ring or a new seal. So we got our O-rings fitted. I have a little bit of PAG oil here for the air conditioning system, and what I like to do is get a little bit of oil on my fingertip, or my glove in this case, and I want to put some oil in these joints where my O-rings are at. And this is the first set of joints that we're going to put back in place. Are the ones that go back into our evaporator. So let's get this done. We get our lines, and we want to be careful that we're not getting our nice new O-rings up against anything that they don't need to come into contact with. And I have to get them wiggled down into place where they belong.
Behind everything.
Kind of in here, behind, and below stuff. It's kind of tricky because I'm going to get both of them in place at the same time. Maybe I can fit one before I fit the other. I don't know. There we go. Now where it needs to go. This one is up where it belongs. Get it stuck in the evaporator. I have to move my collar around here and slide that into place over top of my stud here. It takes the nut that secures it.
Right in there.
Move this around, get it lined up and stuck on. So there's both of those fittings. They're over top of the studs. I have my whiz nuts here. They're the same size. And I'm going to take this glove off because it's kind of difficult to work fasteners on and off with a glove on. I think it's a little more difficult anyway. And I'm going to run these down over here. Snug it up with my fingertips. And number two, I'm going to snug it up. If I can. If you can't use your right hand, use your left hand. That battery box is right in the way, and it's welded in, so I can't take it out. What a pain. What a pita. And before I go tightening those nuts down, I want to snap these lines back into their respective plastic retainers. There we go, there's one set. The other one is up here. There we go. Got those snapped back into place. I think that's where it needs to be. And yeah, I can't get that with my fingers anymore, so I need a wrench. I think it is. 12. I don't need that. Okay. Let's see. We gotta get back here to get these suckers. Down under there. Flip it to the right destruction. Glasses back up on my nose because I'm sweating already.
Not like a towel or something.
That one's snug. That one is snug. And you don't have to really put too much torque on these. You just want to snug them up nice and tight. And let the O-ring do the sealing. So there's that. That's still clipped in. This thing used to be, I think, above here. So I get this out of the way before it causes problems. There we go. That's where it belongs. Okay. If I remember correctly, the second to last thing I removed was the compressor. So, allow me to get my compressor out of the box. Henry, can you grab that?
Yeah, sorry. Oh.
Okay. Now,
Alright.
we need to get our compressor. So, let me slide this box out here. Right here. Not sure what I did with the seals. I see them.
Seals.
I see
Yeah,
them.
they're right up there.
Okay.
In the bag.
Let me get, I believe, I have the fasteners here. I think it was a 6mm.
These were rubber mounts that you pulled off.
Hex.
Oh, yeah.
Here it is. Henry, pay attention, please.
Sorry.
6mm hex, and the 4 fasteners that hold our top plate to our compressor. And we have a new gasket. So,
Pag oil.
here's what I'll do.
You have the cover?
The cover's in the box.
That's right.
Okay. So, I'll just set these down. I gotta get my wrench.
Oops, sorry. Oh, I'm in the way.
Set this to the offensive position. Okay. There we go. There's a 1. And a 2. Wait. 3. 4. Yep, I heard a little
There's
bit
the
of
hiss.
hiss. So it was either packaged with a vacuum or packaged with a little bit of nitrogen
Bathroom gas.
or not laughing gas or what you want to call it?
Ooh,
Some
it
other
looks like there's a seal.
inert gas. Well, it's got a gasket on it. I think I'm still going to use the green one, and I want to see if these fasteners in this are the same as what came out. Okay, so get my top plate, and it went
Drop that one.
like so. It's important to get this in the same orientation that it came off. Right? And if these fasteners are the same as the old ones, which they do appear to be, I'm going to use the new ones rather than reuse the old ones. Number 4 go.
I tried to test it, but it fell in the box.
Yeah, they're the same length, same thread. Yeah, so it's all good. All good in the hood.
Take that gasket out.
Take this gasket out with my finger or not. Yeah.
Here. There's a flathead right here.
There we go. Yep. Just carefully get that out of there. Hold on. Relax.
Alright.
Don't let it touch the ground.
I know.
Okay?
Then that'd be bad for it.
Exactly.
I'm not that dumb.
I'm going to lubricate this one. Put a little oil on this gasket. And set it into place. Wish you hadn't set that on the ground. Just can go back where it belongs. Yes, that is the way it is supposed to be oriented. And you gotta be careful you don't get it flipped around backwards, or your seals, or your it's not gonna be lined up with the gasket.
Yeah, it's probably gonna
You must get it put back the right way. Okay. This sucks with oily gloves. Sucks with regular gloves. Now I got oily gloves. Gloves are great to keep your hands clean, but it kind of sucks to work fasteners with. Or take sockets off. Punch with. Okay.
Cannot get this one in.
Excuse me. It's important too to start all the fasteners before you tighten down any one individual fastener. I find it helps keep things lined up so all the fasteners go in nice and easy.
Why'd you back these two out a little?
Just take that tension off, that pressure off, and let those other two go in nice.
Smart.
Yeah. Set this in the right direction. Put it on here. Tighten this down. I like the crisscross applesauce.
Even though it's probably not doing anything, I'll put my leg here.
Okay. Last one. Okay. Got that there. Just keep sliding off my face. Get the oil out of the way. And one thing I do want to do is snap this connector off of here because this came with the wrong connector on it. And the factory compressor that came out does not have this connector on it. Just has a different connector and a wire that goes right down to the compressor. So
wait, does that mean you need to take this off then?
What?
Does that mean you need to take this off?
No.
No, okay.
What I need to do is
well, when you said different connector, you pointed to this. So
depin this connector and resolder the factory wire back into here is what I'm going to do. Okay. So I'll do that later. And then.
But for now, are we just going to install it?
Yeah. Okay. Right now, this is going to go back in the car.
Right down there.
So put this in. And we got our space made for it. We have one of our bolts. I'm going to hold it up and start working a bolt in to the hole. Okay.
It's probably gonna get longer, but I'll keep it.
So there's one bolt partially started. And I'm going to run all 4 bolts in there and tighten them down. So if you want to pause it for now, we'll pick back up in the next one. Alright, so I have gotten, excuse me, need some water. So I've gotten all 4 bolts back in the compressor and reinstalled our belt and adjusted our belt tensioner. And at the moment I'm just tightening down the tensioner pulley. I adjusted the belt correctly. It's got the right amount of deflection in it. I have to tighten the bolt in the center of the pulley to lock it in place. Okay, and I didn't film that step because that tensioner is very difficult to reach and probably would be even more awkward to film. So I figured I will just go ahead and go about that. Like I said in the disassembly video, the tensioner itself must be loosened up with the center bolt. You loosen that up a turn or two, and the adjustment bolt is up from the bottom. You have to put a wrench up from the bottom side of the vehicle. You have to lay underneath of it, and I can't get that accomplished. My son was inside doing something, using the bathroom, and I wasn't going to get it accomplished by myself. But it's done. It's tight. Tensioner's tight. It's well adjusted. I got what feels like the correct amount of tension on the belt. So there we have that. So the next order of business, I believe, is our new accumulator dryer and the bracket. So let me grab that and we'll cut to that. Okay, change of plans. Most condensers are marked, not condenser, my accumulator dryer, receiver dryer, whatever you'd like to call it. Most of them, when you get them, they are marked which side is the inlet, which side is the outlet, so you don't get them mixed up when you install it. And this one is not marked. The fittings on both sides are identical, so I can't tell by that. The only way I'm going to be able to tell which side is the inlet, which side is the outlet, is by taking the caps off and staring down that bore hole. Whichever leg goes in, makes a 90 and drops down, that is the inlet side. So what I'm going to do is instead fit up the condenser and start fitting some of the lines in, and I'm going to leave this part for last. I don't want to open this up and leave it exposed to
Moisture.
the humid air that's around us and start soaking up moisture. So I'm going to set this off to the side for now, and we're going to grab our new condenser. Let me do that. Got my new condenser. It's in good shape. Appears to be. It's got everything we need installed already. So I'm going to carefully wiggle this thing down into place on its mounts and get it secured. And then we will pick it up from there.
Alright, we're going.
Okay. Well, we've got our condenser in. We've got our mounts secured. So the radiator is once again secured, condenser secured. We've got a small line here, okay, that runs from the condenser to the receiver dryer. And we have the whiz nut that secures this fitting. So I'm going to shoot down in here. We're going to pop this on here. Just put our nut on the back side. And I think I've got a 10 millimeter here somewhere to tighten that up. Wait, is it a 10? Should be a 10.
Yeah, it's a 10.
That was the connection that I couldn't get apart on the old condenser.
Yeah, still in the
The
line.
two lines were just corroded together over time.
like very corroded.
Okay. And I want to hold the fitting with one hand
So it doesn't
while I
turn.
tighten this up with the other so it doesn't, I don't
Bend it.
accidentally bend it or crank it over. So that's snugged up. And those should be the in and out lines for our receiver dryer. We're about there. So I've got to get the bracket,
You know what we should have done?
get my bracket for my receiver dryer mounted, and then I can fit that receiver dryer back in place. Okay?
Pause.
Yep.
Let's go.
Okay. Come on over here, son. Alright. We have our condenser in. We have the line that comes out of our condenser, runs to our receiver dryer. And we have the line here that runs out of the receiver dryer and off to our evaporator. So the receiver dryer, as I said before, shoot this please. This receiver dryer, like I said before, it'll have an inlet side and an outlet side, and you don't want to get them mixed up, or you're going to be pushing liquid out. So, yeah, you don't want to do that. So we got to figure out which is the inlet side, which is the outlet side. And we got to take the caps off to do that. And whichever one goes in and drops down right away, that is our inlet side. And I can hear the nitrogen coming out.
Don't smell anything.
Well, it's inert. It really doesn't have much of a smell.
Does it have an effect on humans if you breathe it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna cap too much of the cup.
I'm going to do that slowly so the caps don't go blowing off. Right? And smack somebody or smack me.
Or a car.
That's why I didn't point it at me when I took the caps off. Okay, I'm looking. Aha. Yeah, I can see that this side goes in, he immediately hits the aluminum and drops down.
It drops.
Right? And this side goes all the way down to the center where it's going to pick up vapor refrigerant and let it out.
Shoot it.
Okay? So you want to keep the liquid in here. So we know that this is going to be our inlet. This is going to be our outlet. Also have a sensor that goes in here and plugs in right here, which I'd better just get that installed really quickly.
What, this?
That
right?
little sensor. Let me get that installed before I do anything.
Quickly. You have to keep the other side closed, or? Sorry, should I just pause?
15. I might need a 14.
Should I pause?
Let me use my adjustable.
Let's watch this guy struggle.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Just loosen this. And we'll get it out of here. I have my sensor. I'm going to put a little bit of the lubricant with a clean finger. Make sure my threads are clean.
Clean, as he rubs it on with a dirty finger.
It's not too dirty.
I genuinely
see
thought
a
that glass
little
was going to
bit.
crack.
A little bit of dirt in the threads. Let me clean that out. So there we go. A little bit more oil. Okay. Wipe that off.
Hello.
Excuse me.
Ah.
And I'll just thread this stinker in here. You have to make sure that it is Z-tight.
Not too tight though, right?
Well, it is just aluminum, so you don't want to crank it down too hard, but you want to make sure it's good and snug. That feels good and snug. So, I'm going to Pop our connector on.
Slide that into the holder.
Drop it
And the
into our
bracket.
bracket, which secures it. And then this side and get our fitting started.
Here, hang on. That help at all?
That should help a bit. I really don't want to cross thread this. Come on, baby.
See anything going on?
It appears to be going on straight. We'll get this line stuck in there. Start spinning this one on. That side's going on much more easily because, well, it's a new fitting.
Man, dirt really shows up on this thing, huh?
Huh?
The
Excuse
dirt
me.
really shows up.
Trying to just hold the accumulator still while I just tighten down on the fitting nut itself. Let me use a smaller. I don't know if this one's big enough. Do it go that big? It do not. Be right back. Oh, it's the mama wrench. This wrench is too big. This wrench is too small. This wrench is just right.
I want to crack so many jokes right there.
What?
Never mind.
Goldilocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Goldilocks and 3 crescent wrenches. Okay, so we get this fitting tightened up. Ouch.
Alright.
A bit.
It's just aluminum, Dad.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good.
Hopefully. Hopefully we won't have to do this again.
Now, alright, I got one bolt in here that secures this mount for my accumulator dryer. So I'm going to put the bolt in the mount and get it secured. And this plug's a little wrapped up or wrapped around. So let me unplug this thing and or not.
Just not. Let's maybe not. Maybe fire in. I don't know.
There we go. Okay. Now it's not so wrapped up. Okay, like my wiring to be nice and tidy too. And I need that little bolt. Where's my... There it is. Okay. Buddy, pay attention to what you're doing with the camera. Put my little bolt in here. Where the hole is at.
Can you see anything?
A bit.
Can I move back? Okay, that's what I need.
There we go. Get the bolt to go in straight. Come on. bolts still going straight. It's snug. I don't believe my dryer's going anywhere. Yep, the whole bracket moves, so that's fine. Good enough. Okay. Now, we got some other lines. Hey.
There, looks like there's 2 more mounts
Pay
down
attention.
there. For the accumulator.
Those bolts broke.
Ah, that's right.
Okay.
Forgot. So then you...
Rust.
Rust.
We got some more lines we need to reinstall here, and we're running out of daylight, so we better get cracking. I got lines that go to and from the compressor, one from the compressor, one from the outlet of our evaporator back to our compressor, and one from the compressor, from the compressor and up to our condenser.
UK Dad. Wait, do that again. No, do it.
I'm gonna leave my O-rings again with a dirty finger.
Should we just come back to this after they're installed?
Well, I don't know. Keep it rolling, I guess. We got O-rings on both ends of this one, folks.
I'll keep it rolling.
Well,
I guess.
hey.
Yeah.
You're going to be directly in my way, so I suggest you move the camera. Okay? And film from somewhere you're not going to be in the way. Okay? All right. We've got one line that plugs into our compressor right here, and the other end fits in here. Now, I need our compressor bolt, and I have those. Where did I put those? Hang tight, hang tight. Please don't be walking around. Go, go,
Alright.
go.
There's no
Just-
real good spot for me to film. Can I just pause?
Okay, fine, pause. Okay, found my bolts. I left them in my simple green that I was using to clean them. You don't need to show them that, buddy. Come here. So what I really want everybody to see is that there's 2 different bolts here. They're 2 different lengths. Okay?
So I gotta figure out which goes where.
Well, one of these hoses it has a short, I don't know what you want to call it, bulkhead. Okay? And this is the other one. This has a tall bulkhead. So the long bolt goes in the tall one, and the short bolt is going to go over here.
Down there.
And this bolt with the short
Can I have that?
bulkhead.
Can I have that one? The short one? Alright.
I want to make sure it's lined up. And drop my bolt in and start threading it. I want to make sure it does not get cross-threaded. Okay. And I believe those are 12 millimeter. So, I'll get the tools,
I
bud.
think the short 12 is right there. Alright.
Short 12 is where?
I thought it was on the wrench, but no. Apparently I'm wrong.
Maybe if my stuff was a little more organized, though. Can't blame you. I thought it would be on. Oh, it's on the wrench. Oh.
I just said that.
Oh. I thought you meant on the extension.
Oh. I said, maybe it's on the wrench. That's what you thought. It's alright.
Alright.
People make mistakes.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's alright.
I'm just gonna snug that up.
You know,
Not
I
gonna
don't blame
He-Man
you.
it.
I don't blame you. I'll do the same thing.
There we go. Now, the last but not least, right? Oh, I need my whiz nut that goes on here. So let me find my whiz nut. Whiz nut. There is.
I swear, Dad's a whiz at this. Oh, focus.
There it is. I found a whiz nut.
There we go.
Okay. Found a whiz nut. And 10 millimeter. Tray. We're going to tighten that fitting together.
I think it's the other end.
Yep. Make sure
you don't want to break it. You don't want to break it.
It's tight. And my last hose here, lube my O-rings.
Ish
and
tight.
we'll get this installed. Now, the compressor that I bought was already preloaded with oil. It has the
Are you
recommended,
sure?
Yes.
Alright.
I drained it out and I checked it. It has the recommended 7 to 8 ounces of
recommended. Good.
So, over here.
Put that end down there.
This end go down. Bolt go in.
That go down, bolt go in.
Okay, and our last fitting is kind of going to be a pain in the arse to get to, which is the large fitting on our condenser.
Oh,
I
no.
had such a pain trying to get apart.
Oh, no sheet.
I'm hoping,
You weren't fitting.
I'm hoping it's not going to be that big of a pain to get back together. Shove that up there.
Can't get a finger.
And start spinning this sucker back on.
Oh, you made it look easy. Put it back together. That was quick.
Don't say it yet. Okay.
Now you need to get your wrench down there. And...
I just need to tighten it. Where's my 10?
That's what's going through my mind right now. I'm looking, trying to scramble for parts and tools.
Maybe I should have done this one sooner.
Maybe so. Did anything come out of the condenser when you undid it?
Huh?
Did anything come out of the condenser when you undid it?
When I undid that?
Yeah.
You mean when I took the old one out?
Yeah.
Nothing came out of it. There was nothing in the system.
Hmm.
You mean the new one when I took the plastic cap off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
It had nitrogen in it. Either it had nitrogen. I couldn't tell if it was
Just
pushing
a
out or
vacuum?
pushing in. It was
Pushing
either a
out or
vacuum
pulling in?
or pressure. And I wasn't about to figure out which one it were. Okay.
Why does this keep doing it?
Because you're not just standing there holding it.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll have to back this up with something for a moment because I can see it. The whole thing wiggling.
This is not safe.
So let me get a backup wrench on it. Okay, I'm gonna hold it with a backup and I'm gonna crank it. And that's tight. Okay. So, what are we left with? All the other parts that we had to get out of the way to get to this. Oh, I didn't tighten that bolt, so let me get the 12.
And then what? It's the EVAP box or whatever?
Well, I'll show you what we're going to do first.
This is going to be fun. I mean, to be honest, it's always fun.
That's tight. Okay. Okay. You can leave the light on if you want.
Yeah, okay, that's better.
So, let's double check everything. Lines are in place. They're clipped in. We got our nuts tight back here, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I remember tightening those.
This is clipped in back here. It's clipped in up
Clipped
front.
in up front.
Out of the
We got a
way.
connector for our compressor here. I'm
And
going to have to solder.
this.
That is for the washer fluid pump that we took out. There's a washer
Oh,
fluid
that.
box down here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me get my battery cable out of the way. And my evap emissions line. So, you wanna hold that up? Let me visually go through here.
It's done it again.
Relax, we'll clean it out. But we got
That's deep.
our bulkhead fitting tight back here. We got our lines clipped in to the plastic fasteners where they need to be clipped. Okay. I do remember tightening this fitting. It's tight. That's tight. That's tight.
I have no idea.
My sensor's tight. Okay.
I'll do that later.
Tighten this lower joint with the evaporator. Like I said, tighten this up. Tighten the lower joint at the evaporator. Tighten, the condenser. Woo! My upper joint, the condenser, is tight. Both lines leading into and leaving my compressor are tight. So I'm at the point now where the system itself, Henry, enough.
Sorry.
The condenser's installed, the mounts are in place. I am at a point in the workflow where I can get my vacuum pump out, I can connect the high and the low side, and I can begin drawing the system down into a vacuum. So I'm going to get my manifold gauge set up, and I'm going to bring my vacuum pump out here, and we're going to get started. You know what? I'm not. It's late.
No, we have light.
You know,
We have light.
it's running out quick. All right, we'll do it. All right, we're going to do it. So I'll pause you again.
1.
Okay, we're back. I'm playing musical hoses here. All right, I'm going to come over here and we'll turn the light on. All right, so we have our low side port here.
And the
We have
high
our high
side.
side connection here. We have our low side service port connection here. Our high side service port connection here.
Yeah.
Here. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So the way these valves work is you pull the collar back,
Pull the collar back,
slide
slip it over, and let it
the
go.
collar go and lock it in place, and then you can turn this knob down,
That
and it'll
turns.
depress the plunger in the middle of the service port and open the valve.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, then now you know. You know. Make sure our collar goes down. It's locked on.
Can I turn it?
You want to turn it? Go ahead, turn
Do
it.
the other one.
Just go. There you go.
Did I just hear a little bit of vacuum? I heard a tiny sis.
I didn't hear nothing. Anyway,
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm
pull
going
the collar
crazy.
back. Pop that down. The collar slid over and locked in place. Did you check it? Did you check it?
No.
It's locked on the line now, because I don't know if it was on the line before.
See?
There might have been a little residual pressure in the hoses.
In the hoses.
Or maybe a little residual vacuum in the hoses. Okay? So we got our high side and low side hooked up. And
Get that yellow one.
here
Hook it up to that.
we got our charging hose, the center one in our manifold gauge set. Okay, this is our vacuum pump that we are going to use to pull the vacuum down on the system. Okay, hook our line up here to the outlet of our vacuum pump. Okay, we can come up here, we can look at our gauges. We can come up here and we can look at our gauges.
sorry. Right there.
We can come up here and we can look at our gauges. And we've got what, a little bit of pressure in there somehow. So I'm going to turn the vacuum pump on and I'm going to open both sides here and we're going to start watching the gauges drop. Okay. I know that my pump has oil, so there should be no issues with running the pump. It's had oil in it for a long time. It's pretty fresh. I know there's a switch on it.
Right there.
Yeah, I forgot. There we go. Open my valve on my pump. Open my system up. And it should begin to pull the vacuum.
It's not very quiet.
These aren't going to move real fast, but they're going to start watching this. On the low side, this gauge will go to 0 and then it'll drop down into inches of mercury vacuum. And we see slowly,
Slowly but surely.
our needle is slowly, hold the camera up, hold it steady. And we can see that our needle is beginning to
Drop.
slowly drop.
Alright, dress up.
And we're going to watch it fall till we reach 30 inches of mercury vacuum. Okay, so we'll pause the camera and pick back up when we get the light on too. Okay, so I'm just going to go through what's going to happen here because we're about out of daylight. I'm going to let this vacuum pump run till I get down to 30 inches of vacuum. I'm going to close my high side. Right now I'm pulling a vacuum through both sides. Okay. Right now
Almost
we're down
there.
to 20. And we still need to go to about 10 or 12 more inches. We want to go down to 30. So I'm going to let it run till 30. I'll shut the valve on my vacuum pump. I'll shut the valve on the high side. And I'm going to let this thing sit in the vacuum overnight.
And see how it does in the morning.
And if the vacuum holds, it's going to allow any remaining moisture, solvents, anything in the system that we don't want in there to evaporate. Things evaporate more readily when they're in a vacuum. Any moisture should evaporate, any gum or anything we don't want in the system should evaporate. And then tomorrow when I pick this up, I'll turn the vacuum pump back on, and I'll let it run then, and we'll go through it in the next part of this. So, I was hoping we could get this done in 3 videos, but we're about out of daylight. I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes, and I stink, so I'd like to go in and get a shower. And that's going to give me time to let this thing sit overnight in a vacuum. That'll, like I said, it'll do 2 things. One, just going to let everything in there evaporate. We can pull the rest of it out tomorrow. 2, if I come back out here in the morning and it's still in a vacuum, then I know the system is
Secure.
leak-proof or secure or however you want to put it. It's not got any leaks. So, a 2-part thing. So, for now, we're going to say goodbye. I'm Tim the Toolman. This is Blue Car Show and Tell. That's Henry the Tool Son behind the camera.
Hi.
Okay. And hope you learned something. Learn what to do or what not to do. Take care, folks.